supposed to be on, on the bench for this PPR. We go to court, unbeknownst to us, we're seeing a different judge who does not even address any of our concerns, just shunned us out of our visitation. There was a mix-up where visitation was said wrong, and it was a clerical error. And we try to get it fixed, and nobody would listen to us. Our lawyers wouldn't listen to us.
I got you. I got you, bro. Let me, and I'm sorry y'all going through this. Let me cut y'all right here because we have a little bit of time left and I need to get these other parents in. But feel free to shoot me a text a little bit later. No, it's okay. I understand. You want your children back. But feel free to shoot me a text a little bit later and we could possibly schedule a consultation and pick this up. But we definitely got to find you a lawyer. That's the main thing. Okay, family. Be strong, y'all. All right now. One love.
Thank you for your time.
One love. We got to get organized. Until the community works for its people, the community is the problem.
Hello.
Brother Alden, how's Toronto, Canada treating you?
Can't complain, sir. How about you?
I'm well. Go ahead and tell me what's going on, beloved.
So we spoke probably earlier 2022, 21.
Okay.
When you had this same call. Just to talk about, I had ADHD and whatnot back in the day, and I didn't want my son to be diagnosed because he's hyperactive, but he's only two. My question is right now, I just wanted to get more preferred choice of education or schooling where I don't want to deal with the public system. Me and my wife were thinking about putting my son into a Montessori, also with her daughter. Is it more of just preference in terms of education, what they teach, how they teach, or is the public school system still an okay place to place my son just because I want him to get a good start, but I really don't think the public school system is where I want to go.
Okay, how old is he?
If you were my schools. He's only 2. He's going to be going into, still in daycare, but we're thinking by the age of 3, he's going to go into a Montessori first before he starts kindergarten.
Okay. Well, you still got a lot of time. As far as, public schools, it all depends on the particular school. Most public schools are horrible, most of them. But every city has a handful of very decent public schools, some of which are nationally ranked. I look here in Philadelphia, right? Philadelphia school district sucks, but we got a handful of schools that are among some of the best in the world or the best in the country. So that's going to be the same thing in Toronto. So the question is, can we get him into one of those high achieving special admit schools? That's the focus. Because if you can get your child into a high admit special school, then there's no need to pay for a private school. Because a lot of them public schools are better than the private school. So it's all about which school, he qualifies for. That's the main question.
Okay. Now, obviously, he's a baby.
Right. You got some time, and there's going to be far more school options available by the time he gets to 5 or 6, anyhow.
Okay, no problem. All right, thank you for the journey. I appreciate it.
No problem, brother. I hope to see y'all again in Toronto. I ain't been in Toronto, I think, since 2012 or 2013, at least 10 years. I ain't been in Toronto in at least 10 years. I was in Montreal maybe 8 years ago, but I ain't been in Toronto in like 10. So hopefully I'll be making my way back soon.
Hey, you're more than welcome here, man.
No problem, bro. Appreciate you. All right now.
Hello.
Good morning, Sister Rashida. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. Umar. I'm doing okay.
How's Detroit? How's Detroit treating you?
It's okay. It's going.
Okay. Tell me what's going on with your son.
Just experiencing some difficulties with other children at his school, and what's so crazy, when I was told that he was having these issues, he goes to a predominantly white school because it's a school outside of Detroit. It's in the suburbs because he wasn't getting the services that he needed to get for being on the spectrum.
Okay, so he's autistic?
He's been in kindergarten. Yes.
When was he diagnosed as autistic? What grade?
He was like 2.
Ooh, that was kind of young. But do you believe he's autistic?
Nonverbal.
Okay, he's completely nonverbal now?
No, he speaks very
Okay, but you believe he's autistic?
No, just delayed a little bit with some things.
Okay, but he has an IEP for autism?
He does.
Okay, now tell me about the bullying.
It's some other kids that are black, some black boys at school, and
This is a regular public school, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they make fun of him. He's a little overweight, so they talk about his weight, calling him fat, N-word, and getting other people to pay attention and just making a mockery out of him.
How long has this been going on?
Apparently it was going on all in 6th grade that I wasn't aware of. He's in the 7th grade now.
Okay, he started that school in what grade?
In 6th grade.
Okay, so it's been going on. Okay, it's been going on since he got there.
Yes.
Have you met with the principal about this?
I met with the assistant principal and the counselor. It seemed like the principal kept trying to put me off, but I did send an email asking, why she avoided me. And she finally called and apologized, saying that wasn't the case. But she didn't. I feel like she only called because I sent the email threatening to reach out to the admin and superintendent and stuff regarding the matter, because I kind of feel like they're dropping the ball. They're not disciplining the children that are messing with my son. They was like in 4 of his classes, so they moved my son out of all his classes. He already struggled with his academics and left the boys in the classes, and they basically told me because it was easier to move him out the classes than it was all the other boys.
Question, is your son in the special ed class or the regular class?
They don't have special ed classes there. They have what's called co-taught, where they have a special ed teacher in the class. So it's like 2 teachers.
Is this a charter school or a public school?
It's a public school.
Okay. Do you feel your son can handle work in the regular class and he just needs to get pulled out for some help, or do you feel he needs to be in a autistic classroom? Because the school cannot predetermine that. The IEP team decides the learning program for the child, not the school. So the first question is your son appropriately placed academically?
That was my issue as well. And so we are meeting again after the holidays for...
No. I want you to answer the question for me. Do you feel your son is appropriately placed? I'm asking you.
No, I feel like he needs to be pulled out and have help.
Okay, so, but he's in a regular class, but you said he's not getting any pull-out service.
No, not right now.
Okay,
no.
So that means the IEP is not appropriate. There's a concept I need you to grab onto, and I did hold a black parent boot camp training in Detroit probably about 8 years ago. But nonetheless, you have a FAPE issue. FAPE is a special ed acronym, and it stands for Free and Appropriate Public Education. Free and Appropriate Public Education. You need to write a letter to the principal telling them that you have issues about your son's program, that you believe your son is being denied his FAPE, his free and appropriate, his right to a free and appropriate public education. You could tell him that the IEP is not appropriate. He's not getting the help that he needs. He needs to be pulled out. Simply getting help in the classroom is not enough for your child. You need to put that in a letter, and you need to request an IEP meeting to deal with that. The other issue is because your child has a disability, okay, he needs to be protected from the children who are bullying him. It sounds to me like your son might need a one-to-one aide to keep those other children from bullying him. And if the school cannot stop your disabled child from being harassed on the basis of his disability, they need to pay for him to go to a private school. If they cannot afford him the education he needs, okay, in a safe environment, the law says they have to pay for your son to go to a private school. So you got the bullying of a disabled child, and then you also have your other issue that your disabled child is not receiving the appropriate service. So you have a FAPE issue. You have a clear FAPE issue, and you need to put it in writing. I can look at the letter before you send it into the principal, but you need to put it in writing, and at the next IEP meeting, you need to really stand your ground about the bullying and stand your ground about his learning program, which is his IEP, and tell them if y'all can't fix this, y'all gonna have to pay for him to go to a private school. That's what the law says. And if there's still a standoff after that, you could take them to due process with the Michigan State Department of Education. Due process is when you file a complaint with the State Department of Education, and they send a hearing officer out there to investigate whether or not you're correct or whether or not the school is correct, and they will decide if your son is going to get the private school or not. So you got two issues, that are clear violations of special ed policy: the bullying and the education not being appropriate. The IEP team's job is to decide those things. Remember, the IEP team job is to decide what the kid is going to learn, where they're going to learn it, and whether or not special ed is benefiting your child. What they're going to learn, where they're going to learn it, and whether or not the program is beneficial to your child. That's called Program Placement and Progress. PPP. Program, what are you going to learn? Placement, where will he receive his special ed? And progress. You got a program issue because you don't think he's getting what he needs. You got a placement issue because you think he need to be pulled outside of the class at least sometime. And you obviously have a progress issue because the program ain't right, the placement ain't right, and your son is being bullied.
Right.
So it's time for a letter to the principal. And like I was saying, you can send me the letter, and I'll look at it before you send it in. Don't go to that meeting by yourself. Take somebody with you. I also recommend that you audio tape the meeting without anybody's knowledge. Get you a digital voice recorder or extra cell phone. Digital tape it. And the reason I tell parents to audio tape it without nobody's knowledge, you can't use it in court because you didn't have their permission. But you know what you can use it for? You can use it when you do your follow-up letter to pull out the statements that they made that clearly show that they're not meeting your child's needs. That's why you tape it. Because if you tell them you're taping it, they're not going to tell you nothing. So you tape it without them knowing, and then you pull out the pieces of your audio record. You pull out the statements that they made that you need to include in your follow-up letter or your due process complaint.
Okay.
Because they have no way of knowing you taped or not. You could have just remembered that.
So when you say take somebody with me, are you speaking like in reference to somebody like that?
No, I'm referencing anybody.
Okay.
Because you should never go by yourself. Somebody who's going to stand up for you. You could get an advocate, but that could be a cousin, a neighbor, somebody from the community. Where's his father?
He is not present.
Okay, it'd be good if you could find a man.
And it's just never been present the way he should have been. I don't keep him from him or anything. He totally has access to him, but he just chooses not to, I guess.
I got you. See if you can find a brother to go with you.
Okay.
If not, take a couple sisters. Remember, you don't have no limit on how many people you can bring. So take 2 or 3 sisters if you can't find a strong brother.
Okay, I definitely will.
But don't go in there by yourself. They're going to gang up on you and bully you. Do not go to meetings alone.
Okay.
All right, and you got my number, so if we need to... Go ahead, I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, okay, when he went to 6th grade, and we had his IEP, and they were instantly saying, like, oh, he's doing great, he's working more, better, independent, so he doesn't need any support, and I totally disagree, but like you said, they totally kind of just bullied me into putting him in the 6th grade with no support, and I didn't feel okay with that. I knew he was going to still need the help. Middle school is more work, it's more faster, it's more kids, So I wasn't aware that you could bring somebody with you. So
absolutely. You can always bring somebody with you. Never go by yourself. Don't sign nothing on the spot. Tell them you're going to take it home and look it over. Never sign nothing on the spot.
And that's another mistake I do. So I will be sure to do that as well. And they rush me to sign it and give it right back to them as well. So.
Got you. And also, I'm going to be speaking in Detroit on the 30th at King Solomon Church for Kwanzaa. It's a free event, 6 to 9. You should come on out.
I definitely will be there. I will bring my son as well.
Yes, ma'am. So keep me posted. You got my number.
No problem.
Okay, beautiful.
I'll be sure to send you the letter before I send it off as well.
Please do.
Thank you so much, Dr.
No problem, Queen. All right. Be blessed.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello?
Peace and love, brother Kevion. How you doing there?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
All right. Sorry about the passing of your parents. You said you now have custody of your siblings.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How old are they?
13, 12, 8.
Okay, so you got your work cut out. So, they might need some grief counseling, good brother. You might got to get some family counseling to process that death, even though death is a natural part of life, it's very traumatizing to children. So you might want to get some grief counseling for that.
I was actually, as you was calling, I was texting you more to give you details on the situation because it's deeper. This has been going on like forever, like dealing with my mother's health wise because as so my father passed away, the message that I sent. My father passed away in 2007, East St. Louis, Illinois, Willie Johnson. He was shot and killed by a police officer.
Sorry to hear that.
Yes, sir. The police officer killed him, and afterwards they covered it up. The mayor covered it up while going to the morgue to get the autopsy of my father. The mayor was coming out past my mother while she was asking for donations around East St. Louis. He was walking past her with the autopsy, covering it up. Afterwards, I was young at the time, so I still wasn't able to really get a word off of my father, not even get justice for him as well, not did my mother. The environment took a hold on her, and she wasn't able to really stand up for herself, given the time that it happened. People weren't knowledgeable about black people getting killed by the police, and speaking of this before Mike Brown, before Tamir Rice, this before all of these names were heard, this before all of these people. So she never really got the chance, and she stopped fighting. Me young, saying that I see my mother give up on my father's name being heard. Me, Kevion Johnson, I want to make sure that his name be heard as well as my mother's, because she's not the only black woman that goes through this. She's not the only black woman that cannot be heard. There's millions of other black kids like me that cannot have my name heard like I am today, which is why I appreciate you for calling, because I've been waiting on a chance like this for so long.
Let me ask you a question. How far is East St. Louis from St. Louis? Driving time.
Different states. Illinois is East St. Louis.
Okay, you're in East St. Louis, Illinois.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how far? Okay, East St. Louis, Illinois, is that anywhere near St. Louis, Missouri?
Yes, sir.
How far driving time?
40 minutes across the water, not far at all.
Okay, this is what I want you to do.
Yes,
we're going to do a program in your father and mother's honor, a free program. I'm going to speak. I've never spoken in East St. Louis. People have been asking me to come, but nobody has ever made it happen. So I want you to find a place that we can use, a free space, whether that's a black church, community center, wherever. Find a space for us to hold the program. And we'll hold a program in honor of your mother and father, and you can have all the handouts and everything necessary to get the people organized. I'll come talk to the parents about starting a chapter of my organization, National Movement to Save Black Boys, as well as the National Independent Black Parent Association, and we'll get the ball rolling.
Yes, sir. But
okay. So as soon as you have that space, I'm going to give you the date, and we're going to move.
Yes, sir. And because I've been waiting on this, so I don't want to cut it short. If you don't mind this, but on a personal level, this is everything I've been waiting on for East St. Louis. I want to buy every piece of land here. I want to rebuild East St. Louis from the ground up. And I want to re-educate my people. I've been having a program, me and two other friends from East St. Louis, called 369, re-educating black kids on who we are, on the indigenous people of East St. Louis. Also, as you look on East St. Louis, it says that the indigenous people of Illinois and Cahokia, the people have left and have vanished. They've been looking for them since 2005. We are here today. They call us black and brown people. We've been here. And the good hoods and ghettos that they've been telling us are our traps. We've been here forever. We educating. We knowing who we are. I, Kevion Johnson, want you to know, Dr. Umar, I appreciate you. You will hear my name forever. You will see this name everywhere you go. I will make sure that my people will be back to one. We will always stand up for each other. I appreciate you, brother. Have a good rest of your day.
You too, brother. And keep me posted. Once you find that spot, we on.
Yes, sir. Kevion Johnson.
I got you. I got you. Shoot me a text once you got something, and I'll call you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, brother. Be blessed. Wow, lost his dad to the police, lost his mom. Now he taking care of his siblings. Pray for that brother, Kevion, y'all. Pray for that brother. We hope the Most High wrap arms around him and his siblings. May his parents be blessed in spirit. May they come back and help him with their other children that he's taking care of. That's hard. You lose your father to police genocide, your mother to the kidney, raising your siblings. That brother's strong. He got a strong spirit. So we got to pray for him, y'all. We got to pray for him and wrap arms around him and those children. This is why we got to get back to community. This is why we got to get back to community. Brothers and sisters, as I said earlier, I will likely be speaking in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the first day of Kwanzaa, December the 26th. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the first day of Kwanzaa, December the 26th. Fort Worth, Texas, the second day of Kwanzaa, December the 27th. Fort Worth, Texas, second day of Kwanzaa, December the 27th. Detroit, Michigan, the fifth day of Kwanzaa, December the 30th. Detroit, Michigan, the fifth day of Kwanzaa, December the 30th. Let me take another call. We're going to stop at 11 o'clock. Last month, I went for my PTA and my son's 5 years. Teacher informed me I need to consider moving him from the school based on his high IQ. 2 weeks later, I went to pick him up and found out he was suspended for hitting a teacher. This week, we got a call and visit from DCA for physical abuse. Closed out the case. Can I pursue legal action against the school for what I believe is discriminatory conduct? Why didn't the school engage us with their assumption before calling DCA? He attends St. Louis, a white Catholic school. Why is he at a white Catholic school?
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Okay, she's not available. Yes, y'all can. You can sue for discrimination, but it's a Catholic school, so you're going to be limited because Catholic schools, religious schools, are very, very independent. They pretty much let them. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. Apologies that the one.
No problem, sister. No problem. So your son is at a white Catholic school in Massachusetts.
Yes.
Okay. You know you can't get no whiter than a white Catholic school in Massachusetts. You know that.
Yes, unfortunately.
And you also know that Massachusetts had one of the most racist school desegregation movements in American history.
Yes.
Okay, so your son is going to school in the belly of the beast. But to answer your question, yes, you could sue. That was clear discrimination. Discrimination is illegal even for Catholic schools. So you could sue. Unfortunately, it's not a public or charter school, so you couldn't make a complaint. Excuse me. You couldn't make a complaint with the U.S. Department of Education Office of Civil Rights. If this was a public or charter school, you could get the feds to look into it. But you can sue for discrimination. You can sue. Now, why did they have DCA contact you? Like, I don't understand the DCA complaint. What are they saying? That because he hit the teacher, he was being hit at home? Like, what was the complaint about?
Yeah, so the complaint was that, and I think there was a situation that happened, according to the DCA officer, that she said she couldn't go into it. That triggered my son, MJ, to make a comment about, I guess, being put in a dark room, right? And so based on his actions, they assumed that because he has a lot of energy and he has aggressive behavior, quote unquote aggressive behavior, then there is indeed a dark room in the house, and so they need to come and check it out. And mind you, he's only been in this school for 2 months. Prior to this, he was going to a different school and there was no issues at all whatsoever. So within that 2 months, we go from putting him in a school that's closer to us. This school is closer to the home. So we wanted to do that. And then now DCA came. And thankfully, when DCA came, it was a wonderful black officer that came and looked at the entire house, talked to us, spent about 2 hours with us, and made a call to close out the case. But my issue is All right, we were there last month to have the Parent Teacher Association. If you had any suspicions, why didn't you tell us? One, that's one. Two, after the fact, my son said, he was alone with this stranger, right? This DC officer had already been to the school to have a conversation with my son before them coming to the house. And so I'm just trying to understand and read more. This just happened yesterday, that DC officer came, trying to understand, like, what are our rights here as a parent? This is our first time with a kid in school, so we are now learning our rights as parents in the school system. So if you could help advise, that would be great.
When do y'all plan on taking him out?
So yesterday was his last day, but we are going to put him in the school. So starting on Monday, we are pulling him out and looking at new schools right now.
Okay, so y'all going to pull him out before you have another school? Y'all going to homeschool him temporarily, or you already have another school?
That's the plan. No, he's already on the wait list in another school. That's probably
okay. And how old is he?
He's 5. He just turned 5.
Okay. Wow. First of all, I would speak with a lawyer to see about a lawsuit. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, I would reach out to the bishop that oversees those Catholic schools, and I would write a letter of complaint of racial discrimination, demanding an investigation from the, what do they call that person? I forget in the Catholic Church. I don't know if it's a bishop or someone else. It's the highest ranking person over the Catholic schools. There's normally, I think it's a bishop, but it could be another title. Over the parish. They're over that parish. And that's who you would write your letter of complaint to, demanding an investigation.
Okay.
But I think y'all did right to pull him out that school, but you could keep looking around for a little bit, but don't wait too long, because you don't want to end up on truancy lists either.
Okay.
So, you might got to put him in the Catholic schools temporarily. Put them in a public school temporarily until you find one. Or there might be some charter schools you could get on the waiting list with the charter school. Remember, charter schools are not bound by neighborhood. They're bound by state. So he can go to any charter school in Massachusetts as long as you can get him there. So check out some of the charter schools that wouldn't be too far of a drive for you to get him there in the morning.
Okay.
And I would also go online and look at what the local public schools, who knows, you might be lucky and you might live, where there's a pretty good local public or charter school. So I would do some research. Also check out the private schools.
Okay.
And any homeschool networks that might exist in that neighborhood as well.
Homeschool network. Okay.
All right. But keep me posted. You have my number.
I will. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, Queen. Be blessed. All right now. Okay, this is Shamika from Chicago. How do I help my niece finish high school? She does not have a diagnosed learning disability, IEP. She does have major behavior problems. She's fighting, been kicked out. It can be hard for the teachers to handle her when she has anger. It was a difficult journey getting her through elementary. She quite frankly cannot academically perform. Now she's a freshman in high school. She doesn't make a turnaround. We don't think she'll see sophomore. She's far behind academically. She'll use the motivation and want to continue. Her half-sister, who's a year older, has already refused to go. Her grandma, mom, her dad are trying to rally around her. Any advice? Well, she needs counseling, because whatever this problem is rooted in that family. Tell you that right now. Her behavior problems, that might be depression. Is rooted in the family. So why is this girl so angry? Why don't she want to go to school? Why is she not academically functional? Okay, this smells like family dynamics. This smells like family dysfunction written all over it, good sister. So it's time for some family therapy, some family counseling. If you need to talk with me, text me, and you can pay the consultation fee, and we can have that conversation. Shanice from Detroit. My daughter is 14. She's in the 9th grade. She attends public school. She's failing math. She's failing math. Let me see if Shanice is up. Let's see.
Hello.
Good morning, Sister Shanice. How's Detroit treating you?
It's all right.
Okay, tell me about your 14-year-old.
She actually does have an IEP. She goes to a public school here in Detroit, Michigan, and she is failing math. The math teacher is constantly calling me. She's a 9th grader. She just started high school. So I'm thinking it's like an adjustment thing at first, but this is actually the 2nd semester now. So first
You said she has an IEP.
Mm-hmm.
She's had the IEP since which grade?
Since elementary school.
Since middle school. So
Elementary.
Okay, what is the disability on the IEP? Is it a learning disability, emotional disturbance, intellectual ADHD? What is the disability for?
She's high, otherwise health impaired, but yes, she's
Other health impaired for what? ADHD?
Yes, she's ADD, ADHD.
ADD don't exist no more, so it's only ADHD.
Oppositional defiant, autism spectrum, which is the highest, which is Asperger's.
Asperger's don't exist no more either. They took that out. Okay, she got all these labels. What grade she in?
9th.
She's in the 9th grade with all these labels, and you're concerned that she's failing math?
Yes. She was doing okay, through she was doing very well actually in elementary school. And she had a 1-on-1 before in 4th grade. And then middle school, it was okay for her. Again, it was an adjustment because she went from elementary to middle. So she was doing well in elementary. Middle, she was doing okay. And now in high school, I'm just worried. I'm just concerned for her.
Okay, we're going to deal with the math in a minute, but I'm a little confused, and let me tell you why. She's diagnosed with autism, ADHD, conduct disorder. What else?
That's it.
Okay, ADHD, autism, conduct disorder. She's in the 9th grade presently, right?
Yes, she is.
And math is the main issue. So you don't have no issues with the autism, the behavior, the emotion. That's not an issue in school?
No, she actually just does not. She's no problem. Like I know other people be like, oh, my kid's getting bullied, or they're in there fighting or getting kicked out. She doesn't have those.
Is she on medication?
They prescribe medication.
But she's not on it?
No.
Good. I wouldn't give it to her. Okay, let's go to the math. Okay. If she has an IEP, that means the IEP team, which includes you as the parent, regular ed teacher, special ed teacher, and the principal or a designee, 4 of you and anyone else you deem necessary for the IEP team, their job, your job, the IEP team's job is to make sure she's learning. So I'm trying to understand if she has an IEP. I'm assuming she got an IEP with a math goals page as well, right?
Yes.
So how she fell in math if she got an IEP? That means the IEP team is in violation of the law. The whole purpose of an IEP is to give the disabled child individualized instruction so they do not fail. So help me understand how she has an IEP and she's failing math. Those two things should not coexist.
Yeah, they said that, because again, I'm constantly on the phone with them because they keep calling me. And so I'm telling them, like, well, why can't she be pulled out? And instead of sitting in the math class, she has like 101. So during her math hour, why she can't go on resource? And the resource teacher teaches her math 101. Oh, we don't do that here because that's what they did in middle school.
First of all, there's no such thing as an answer as we don't do that here for a child with an IEP, right? IEP means individual education program. That means whatever she needs to be successful, they must provide her with it. That's exactly why special ed children get extra money. That's why they get extra money so they can provide the child with the services that they need. So there's no such thing as we don't do that here. So, but let me back up. What exactly did you want them to do? You wanted them to do what? Pull her, repeat what you just said.
I wanted them because this is like what I came up with, but they said they don't do it. You know how they have resource teachers?
Yes.
Which is
So
more like
where's she placed at? Is she in a regular class?
Yes, she's in regular class.
And she gets pulled out, or she's not getting pulled out at all?
No, she's not being pulled out. And
So you're telling me she's not getting no service at all, or does the special ed teacher come into the regular class?
They come into the regular class because there is no special
Okay,
ed
but
class.
you're saying she needs to be pulled out for math.
Yes.
And that's the only thing you want her pulled out for.
Yes.
Then they have to do it. What you have to do is you got to call an IEP meeting. I would write a letter. And I would say my daughter is not receiving FAPE, F-A-P-E. Make sure you include that in your letter. Free and appropriate public education. Include that in your letter. That comes straight from the law. My daughter is not receiving her FAPE, her free and appropriate public education. She's failing math and should not be as a child with an IEP. I have requested that she be pulled out for direct math support, direct learning support for math. This has not happened. I'm requesting an IEP meeting to address this issue. If it is not handled successfully at the next IEP meeting, I will be taking you guys to due process with the state of Michigan. Where you at? Michigan?
Yes.
Yeah.
You said that's F-A-P-E?
F-A-P-E. Free and appropriate public education. F-A-P-E. That acronym should be in every single letter you ever write. And you will be able to get a copy of my book, Black Parent Advocate in Detroit. And I have all these letters, like the letter you're going to write. I've already written it in the book. You're going to do your letter, but just so you know, you get a copy of my book and you'll have all the letters you'll need to fight back against the school system.
And I'll be able to get that here on the when you're here on the 30th?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And you said that's from 6 p.m.?
Until 9 p.m. Free event. Yes, indeed. You should bring her as well.
Okay, I will. Okay, so I got the educational program and then get your book for the letter. Okay, thank you. That was just helpful because like I said, they called me many a times and I'm telling them like, why don't y'all just pull her out? And they was like, oh, we don't do that here. We got such and such amount of 100 students that go here, 300 or 400 students, and we cannot just pull one kid out.
Nope. And guess what? You need to quote that in your letter. Your letter expressing your disapproval of her IEP, their violation of her FAPE, you need to quote exactly what they said. You need to quote exactly what they said because those quotes can be very powerful towards showing that they are not meeting the needs of your child.
That's being said, okay.
And you can send me the letter to look at it before you send it in.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, my queen. I'm going to see you on the 30th.
Yes.
All right now. Be blessed. Okay.
You too.
Okay, we got 5 minutes. We live in Long Island. They gave my son an IEP, 3 years old. Before COVID, we met the public school, retested him. What they said his learning disability was speech. What measures do I take to get him out of special letters? They're now saying he needs a neurologist to test him for ADHD. Do not test him. That's all. Do not test them. Tell them no. If you don't plan on drugging your child, you don't get ADHD testing. That's it. Hello?
Hello?
Peace and love, brother. How's Long Island treating you?
We just trying to get some information on my son with this.
Yes, sir. Do not test him for ADHD. School can't make you do it. Okay? He's only how old?
Now he's 6. But
What grade he in? What grade he in?
he's in first grade right now.
Okay, he too young for ADHD, bro. I would not do it. Just tell them no. And if they keep on bothering you, put a letter in writing to the principal and say, I've been requested to get my son evaluated for ADHD. Your teachers are teachers. They're not psychologists. We have no reason to believe our son has that. He will not be getting tested. Your request has been refused. We would appreciate it if your teachers don't harass us any further. I would end it. If you get your son tested for ADHD, they're going to diagnose him and then the school could force medication on you.
Right, so how can I take him out of IEP? Because he's doing, how can I take him out of special
Well, you
ed?
said the IEP is only for speech, right?
It's only for speech, and now they're trying to make it seem like behavior because he's active. He's a very active kid.
But hear me out. If he needs the speech and language service is an IEP service. So he can't get speech and language without that IEP unless you're going to pay for it out of pocket. I don't have a problem with him having an IEP for speech and language because for speech and language, you don't go to a classroom. you get pulled out and you get speech and language therapy from the speech and language pathologist. So I don't have a problem with him having an IEP for speech. You feel me?
Okay, but what about with the neurologist that they're trying
You don't have to do none of that. That only works if y'all go along with it. That's why I'm saying they can't do nothing without your signature. So what I'm saying is I would write a letter refusing their request to have my son tested for ADHD. He's only 6. He's a regular black boy. Ain't nothing wrong with that boy except them. They the problem, not him. I would not let them make my son the scapegoat by getting him diagnosed so they could force some drugs on my son. And if you stop giving him the drugs, they can take your child from you.
Okay, what about special ed? What's the requirements of getting them out of there next year if I want to take them out of this? Right
Well,
now?
if you want to end the IEP for speech, which I wouldn't do unless I don't think he needs it anymore, or if I'm going to pay for it out of my own pocket, all you got to do is request the IEP meeting and ask them for the special ed service agreement so you can sign your son out.
Okay, all right. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem, brother. Be blessed. Okay. My children were taken from me 6 years ago by the court. Investigation unfounded. I never got my kids back. 2020, they called me to give me my oldest back because his dad lost him to DIFUS. While waiting for reunification, he was placed in a foster family. The foster family had drama. Someone shot and killed my son on the porch. What? What? The closing statements are Monday in court. I want to start a nonprofit in his name. Can you give me some insight? What? What?
Hey, Dr. Umar.
Good morning, Queen. I just read your text message and I can't even believe what I read. Please give me that again. Tell me what happened.
Okay, so real quick.
And where you based at? Where you based at?
I'm in Atlantic City.
Atlantic City. Go right ahead.
So about 7 years ago or so, my children's grandmother had made a false report of abuse and neglect. It came back unfounded, but during the process of the investigation with DCPNP, the state placed them with their grandmothers. After it came back unfounded, the courts never gave them back to me. So the fathers and the grandmothers had them. The father lost my oldest son, and he was back in custody of DCPNP. DCPNP said they was looking for me come 2020, and once they found me, they was trying to reunify us. In the meantime, they placed him with a temporary family, which was like a foster family. And then they had some drama going on, and a drive-by happened, and my son was killed on the porch. He was 17.
And he was with a foster parent after he was taken from his dad?
Mm-hmm.
And why was he taken from his dad?
Because they let him go. Well, because he got in trouble with the law. They was tired of him going back and forth to juvenile detention, so they just didn't pick him up.
And how did he end up with the dad? Because they took them from you.
Yeah, and the dad was living with the grandma, but the grandma had.
Okay, were they justified in taking him from you in the first place?
Apparently, it looks like they weren't, because DCMP was looking for me to reunify us. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't an issue. They said there wasn't no reason why they shouldn't have been with me because it came back unfounded. But the courts were the one that originally.
So if they never took you, so that your children were taken from you on what was ultimately an unfounded accusation.
Accurate.
If that never happens, the chain of events that leads to him going with his father and then ultimately being taken from the father, ending up with a foster parent where he shot on the porch, that would have never happened if the original crime of taking the children from you never happened.
Right, and we're going through trial now.
Now, the trial is for who? The shooter? What is the trial for?
The shooter, he's saying not guilty, but the person that had got him to do the shooting turned state witness on him and testified against him. And she only got 8 years because she turned state witness on him.
I need you to get a lawyer and I need you to sue Child Services.
They said no, it's too late, that they got a new law where you only had a year. But in a year, my mind wasn't right enough to even think about doing that.
Are you sure it's only a year? Who told you that?
In New Jersey, a lawyer. I've talked to two.
Okay. I didn't know that. They only give you a year for statute of limitations in New Jersey. Yeah. I did not know that. And they don't call it DIFUS anymore. It was called DIFUS when I was DCPNP. Department of Coons and whatever else. But anyway.
So it's crazy.
Okay, you said you wanted to start a nonprofit.
Food pantry.
Okay, this is what we're going to do.
The hungry together.
Okay, this is what we're going to do. You let me know what you want to do. And with my organization, National Movement to Save Black Boys, we will support you. If you need me to come to Atlantic City and speak or whatever the case may be, you let me know how I can support you. You don't owe me anything, and I will help you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, since all that, like, it made me go to school, and now I'm a licensed social worker because I feel like I was just done so wrong.
When was he murdered?
2020.
2020, during COVID. Okay.
Yeah, it was a mess.
Okay, I'm so sorry to hear that. My heart goes out to you and the family.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Keep me posted. Lock my number in and keep me posted.
All right, thank you. I love what you're doing.
No problem, Queen. Be blessed. All right now.
Bye.
One love. I'm a father with a second grade girl. She's a star that struggles with reading. They want me to test her. No testing for these young kids. Stop testing these damn babies. Stop testing these young kids. Stop it.
Hello.
Peace and love, Brother John. Where you at in Florida?
Okay, that's what's up, man.
Where you at in Florida? Where you at in Florida?
I'm Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. Okay. Your second grade girl. Do not test her, brother. Get her a tutor. Do not test her. Get her a tutor. She's too young to be getting tested for some kind of learning disability, man. You don't need that. She don't need that. She's too young. She's only a baby. No.
Exactly.
Get her a tutor. Find you a retired teacher. Find you a college student. Find you a high school student. Find you a middle school student in Fort Lauderdale and have them tutor your kid. She only need 2 hours a week, bro. 1 hour Monday, 1 hour Thursday, and that's it.
I think some of it falls back on me because I be working so much, but I don't have a problem with her when it comes to getting her to learn or when I work with her, she does everything perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? It just be like when it comes to when I'm not there, she get to watch a lot of TV and stuff like that. And so I think it's just more of the practicing and like she was on. They do this thing where they have a time limit to solve all the math problems. Like so it's like 1, 2, 3s, and 4s and 5. She was on 5s for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I practiced with her for a couple of days, and she passed it instantly. So it's just like just taking the time to practice with them and stuff like that.
Got you. Yeah, just get her a tutor, bro. Find her one as soon as possible. 2-3 hours a week, just 1 hour a day, and she'll be reading above grade level in about 2-3 months, man. Leave that special ed alone. Tell them no thank you. I'm getting my daughter a tutor. Nip this in the bud right now.
Yeah, they was trying to test her for ADHD.
No, sir.
Like,
no.
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 To the school, I'm like, nah, bro,
no. ADHD is a scam. Never. No to ADHD. No to the learning disability. All she need is some tutoring.
Yeah, it was a parent-teacher conference, and her mom was like, I'm going to request to do the ADHD, and I was like, nah, hell nah, and I went down there, and then pretty much what I got from it is she just needs to spend more time with it. But they take her out of the math to do the reading because she's strong in the math, and then now the math is kind of suffering a little bit to where... because they're on the complex math.
No. They can't do that either. You said they took her out of the math to do the reading?
Like an hour or something like that, like...
Right, but are they taking her... Listen to what I'm asking you. Are they taking her out of math in order to do reading?
Yes.
They cannot do that. Tell them you don't want that. You don't want your daughter being deprived of one skill. You don't want your daughter being deprived of instruction in one class so they can work on another skill because, like you've already witnessed, she'll end up weak in both of them. If they need to take her out, you don't take her out of an instructional academic class. You take her out of art or gym or recess or something like that. You don't take her out of an academic to help her with another academic. No, you don't do that. That's why you need to shut it all down and just get a tutor. Or if you can still let them tutor her in school, you still need to get a tutor on the outside, but you need to make it clear to them under no circumstances is she's going to miss one major subject to get help in another major subject. You're not going to do that. You're not going to let them do that. And the only reason why they're doing it that way, because it's easier for the teachers.
Right, exactly.
So it's up to you to shut that down. I will put that in writing as a letter to the principal. That's what I would do and shut it down.
Okay. I appreciate you, Dr. Umar.
No problem, brother. I'm also going to be in Florida. I'm going to be in Bunnell, Florida. Bunnell, Bunnell, Florida on Wednesday, January the 31st for the Brendan Deppa case. We're going to have a peaceful protest outside beginning at 10 o'clock Wednesday, January the 31st with Brendan Deppa, the brother who might go to jail, who could go to jail for as much as 30 years for assaulting the teacher assistant when he should have never been in that school. His needs was not being met. He was over-medicated, under-supported. He's more a victim than even the teacher's aide was. And so we're going to be having a protest. My organization, National Movement to Save Black Boys, and the National Independent Black Parent Association, in case you want to drive on up and show some support.
Okay, so don't allow her to be taken out of math class.
No, sir. You never let your child be taken out of a major instructional class for any reason. For any reason. They want to work with her in reading, find another time. Do it after school, but you're not depriving her of her math instruction for that.
Because they just started doing both, where now she comes Tuesday and Thursday, she'll go in at 7:45, a few minutes early for school, and then do the reading. But I think they're still taking her out of math class for a few minutes for extra reading instruction.
I don't like it. For me, I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
I have a big problem with children being deprived of instruction in a major academic class for any reason. They could find another class for that. Like I said, they're doing it because it's easier for the teachers. Teachers matter more than children in these schools, and that's the problem. Teachers matter more than the children.
Because she was super strong in math, but now I can see that it's starting to affect it.
Yes, sir. So you got to shut it down with a letter.
Okay, thank you.
And find her a tutor.
Appreciate everything you're doing, man. You're the realest.
No problem, bro. Be safe.
One of the OGs, man.
Thanks a lot.
Peace and blessings.
No doubt. Peace and blessings. I want everybody to come out and stand in solidarity with us on January the 31st in Bunnell, Florida for Brendan Deppa. We're going to have we're going to have a protest. I need someone in Florida who could provide the sound system. We need the basic speaker, microphone, outdoor portable sound system. Who has that for Florida? Can anybody in Florida do that? I know we got DJs and everybody else. Y'all throw parties any other time. Why can't Dr. Umar get a speaker and a microphone? Where my Florida DJs at? Where my Florida party animals at? Who in Florida is going to show up on January 31st with the portable speaker and microphone for the protest? Who is showing up on January 31st for Brendan Deppa? We got to stand for our children, y'all. I need a speaker and portable microphone. If I can rent it, somebody in Florida can let me know where I can rent it from. We're going to be in Bunnell, Florida, Bunnell, Bunnell, Florida, Wednesday, January the 31st for the Brendan Deppa sentencing. I need a portable speaker and sound. I need portable speaker and sound. Okay, we will be at the Kim C. Hammond Justice Center. Kim C. Hammond Justice Center, 1769 East Moody Boulevard, Bunnell, Florida, 1769 East Moody Boulevard, Bunnell, Florida, 32110, Wednesday, January the 31st, where the protests begin at 10. He will be sentenced at 1:30. The protests begin at 10. He will be sentenced at 1:30. We need a portable sound and speaker. Come on, Florida. Jacksonville, you're only 1 hour away. Jacksonville, can we get the portable speaker and a microphone? Can we get the portable speaker and a microphone? I'm not buying nothing from no Best Buy because I should be able to get this from my community. All y'all do is party. All Negroes do in America is party. Can I get the portable speaker and the microphone? Can I get the portable speaker and the microphone, brothers and sisters? We need some signs. Who's going to make some signs? We need some Brendan Deppa signs. Support Brendan Deppa. Who's going to make the placards for the protests? Florida Africans, I need some support. Is Florida going to stand up, or do I got to call on my Georgia Africans? Where my Georgia Africans who on that Florida border? Y'all might got to come down and stand with Dr. Umar if the Florida Africans are too scared or too unconcerned. Brendan Deppa protests, January the 31st. I want y'all to come from all over the country, all over the world. It's about saving black boys. It's about saving black children. We ain't worrying about no Ron DeSantis. He could pull up too if he want to. Tell the governor to pull up. I'll gladly debate the governor right there on the courthouse lawn. We need a portable microphone. We also need a place to meet. We might rally in Jacksonville the night before, because I'll be speaking in Jacksonville the first day of Black History Month. I'll be speaking in Jacksonville, Florida, the first day of Black History Month. Is there anybody in Jacksonville with a portable microphone and speaker? Is there anyone in Jacksonville with a portable microphone and speaker? Because I'm going to be speaking in Jacksonville the day after Brendan Depper's protests. I'm going to be speaking in Jacksonville, Florida, the day after Brendan Depper's protests. I'm going to be speaking in Jacksonville, Florida, the day after Brendan Depper's protest. Is there anybody from Jacksonville coming to the protest who could bring the microphone and speaker, brothers and sisters? We need the microphone and speaker, brothers and sisters. Is there anybody coming who can get the microphone and the speaker? Is there anyone coming who's going to get the microphone and speaker? Okay. We so lazy as a people, so lazy as a people, so lazy as a people. Okay. Two 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858. Dr. Umar, can you please call me? My mom is living with white people. I don't like to be around white girls. They are dangerous and I don't trust them. Please call me. What else we got? Okay, brothers and sisters, this is what I'm going to do from now on. When I do the Black Parent Teleconference, I'm going to go live with 3 people at the end of the Black Parent Teleconference. If you want to tap in with Dr. Umar requests right now, at the end of the Black Parent Teleconference, I'm going to go live. 3 people, you can ask me whatever you want. You can tap in with Dr. Umar right now. Actually, I'm going to end this live and start another one for the 3-person tap in.